Yes. So if you guys on the Zoom are here for CE, make sure that you put in the chat that you're here for CE with your name and your license number. And BJ, your name the way it appears on your license and your license number. And if you're here for CE, you have to have your camera on for CE credit. Hey, Renee.
Hey.
BJ, Renee paid outside the class for the entire 8 weeks.
Yep.
And then
which one is she?
Yeah. Joey Womble was going to, I asked him to come by here for a few minutes because what we're talking about today with the building the referral based business, he's been coaching to that with the new agents once a week. So we'll have him shortly. And there's Miss Bentley. Hey, Hattie. We were just talking about you. Congratulations.
Thank you. I was having a hard time trying to figure out how to Zoom.
Oh, well.
I was doing it off of my phone.
You'll probably use it often.
Yes. Well, I'm here.
Good. I'm going to go get a cup of coffee while everybody else is still coming in. You guys feel free to chat any questions that you have or anything that you need. Just chat it. BJ is monitoring and she will also answer any questions that you guys have as we go. Good job. Danica, if you want to pause doing that and listen, you can. How are you? I'm good. Good.
BJ, can you hear me?
That's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's okay because still prefer to pay that way. So I know that it.
Hey, girl.
Hey.
How are y'all?
Good.
She doesn't all that fun stuff. How you doing? I'm good. If you're CE, never mind the roster going around, so it'll come around. If you're here for CE, make sure you do so. Right. If you're here just to be here, still sign. That way we have records for your free everlasting. Lindsay, do you want to kick us off or do you want me to just kick off at this time?
I just want ready. Ready.
Not ready.
All right, we're gonna let Batman on the couch. Come on. A little bit, you gotta share.
Morning. Hey, Corianne, look at that. Okay. I love it. Are y'all ready?
We're ready.
Ready? Okay, I'll go ahead and get out of the way and let Michelle take off. I'm looking forward to seeing y'all for the next 8 weeks. It's exciting to be back and look at all y'all's faces. Don't forget, if you haven't signed up for the luncheon, we're finally getting back to doing luncheons coming up on the 24th in Fannin County. And it's more elected official conversation in case you didn't have enough last night in the past few days. We're going to keep it going. So, all right, I'll let you all go. Thank you. Yeah. All right, for a reminder,
I forgot to tell them to read the bulletin.
Oh, you guys, yes, read the bulletin. You'd be surprised how many times people will call up here asking questions that if they had just read the bulletin, they wouldn't need to call.
Like the MLS being down.
Yeah, MLS being down. I mean, that was in the bulletin. So if you guys all freaked out like the world was falling apart, you didn't read your bulletin. If you are here for CE, be sure that you have your name in the chat, how it is on your license with your license number so we can book your hours. BJ's keeping up with that. We try to get your hours booked within 24 hours of the class unless something happens with the Trek site and we can't. So if you are here for CE and you don't see your hours booked by the end of this week, then please let us know. That means that we either didn't get the information that you wanted CE or something else happened. Also, if you're here for CE on Zoom, you do have to have your camera on. So be sure you keep your camera on the entire time for CE. And welcome to you guys in the room. We have a full house in the room too, and it feels good. We've been doing these classes, these success series, golly, Brandy, 5 years? 3, I don't know. It's been a while. And no, it's been more than 3 years because we did them a couple of years before COVID. And so they are, so this is just part of the education committee's givings to you guys where you have CE classes in person instead of having to do them all online. So it gives us an opportunity to have conversation. So I want you guys to pause and ask questions as we go, because this is for you guys. This is not just for the credit. I want you guys to actually leave here with at least one piece of information that helps you in your business. And then of course, if you're here for CE credit, then you get the CE hour as well. So I'm Michelle Castle with Guild Mortgage, and I have with me today Brandy Squires and Will Bennett in the back of the room. All three of us are loan officers, and then we have a team of licensed loan officer assistants behind us, propping us up and supporting us in the business. So I'll introduce you to them in just a few minutes. For me, my passion is just really giving back and being a resource to you guys in the business. Running a business of any kind is hard. Running a real estate business or any time you are working with people's emotions for a long period of time is really difficult. So we really have a passion for serving you guys and helping you guys in business. We're nerds about mortgage loans. We love figuring hard stuff out, and closing loans is just what we do. Communicating well is just what we do. But this is really our way of giving back to the real estate industry by providing resources and information that helps you in your business. It's great to see a lot of new faces in here today. So thank you all for showing up on Zoom and in person. We have a lot of new faces. So my passion is just really teaching and leading and just being a resource. I'm just a giver by nature. So if there's something you guys don't have that you think you need, whether it be a checklist or you're trying to figure out a marketing campaign or you're putting together your database and you don't even know who goes into your CRM and who you're supposed to be reaching out to and when and how, that's what I'm happy to help with. I've been in the business for 25 years, and Joey, come on up here because I want to introduce you real quick. I've got with me, I asked Joey Womble to join us today. Joey and I have known each other for 30 years. 35 years.
Since you were a little girl.
No, I had a little girl, her mama, and she was about 3 years old. So it's been 30 years. What's been really fun is that Joey joined the real estate business and I joined the mortgage business after we knew each other. He was the pastor at the church that I was attending, and we lived across the street from each other. So our kids, our girls terrorized boys in the neighborhood, mainly his sons. Right. But what's been really fun is just watching from a distance Joey growing his business the same way I grew my business, which was just a referral-based business, slow and steady and organically. Times have changed, and there's a lot of different ways to do business now. You could buy your business through internet leads, and let me tell you, it's really, really hard. I mean, a lot of your buyers are going to the internet. So it's really attractive as an option, and it is an option. But that's not the only way. You can do it slow and steady, the fun way, which sometimes feels like the hard way. But oftentimes I feel like the hard way is the right way. The easy way is typically not the right way. So I wanted him to, Joey coaches the new agents at Paragon, and I see a lot of you guys in the room today. And I've had the pleasure of watching him coach his agents, and I just love how aligned we are. And I asked for him to talk a little bit about how he built his referral-based business. And then today we're going to just talk more about that, because there's not a wrong way or a right way. You guys got to figure out what works really well for you. So, Joey, explain your business just a little bit in your model.
Do I have?
No more than 10.
Okay. I'll put it at 8. All right. All right. Well, my name's Joey Womble, and I remember in 1993 that I was sitting right where you guys are sitting, because that's when I started the business. I started coming over here and going to training and stuff like that. And I had never been in business before. I was always in church work, church vocation since I was in college. And so here I was 43 years old, and I had a wife that didn't work outside the house, and I had 3 kids and 3 cars and 3 and a mortgage. And so this was the first time in my life that I wasn't getting a regular paycheck every Friday, and it was just commission only. So the first word of encouragement, and I'm sorry for you guys who are over at Paragon, but you're going to hear a lot of the same stuff I share over there. But, you know, I've only got one story, and that's why I'm sticking to it. So, so one of the things I always tell new agents, today I was at the gym, and a guy came up to me, someone I knew from the past. He said, "Hey, I'm thinking about getting in the real estate business, and I was thinking about calling you." I said, "Well, good, come on." But as we stopped talking, I thought, man, he doesn't know what he's signing up for. It might be a little harder than he thinks. I think a lot of people get in the business thinking that people are going to come to you with business, and it doesn't always work that way. Well, what Michelle was alluding to was when I got started in the business, I was pretty cocky, and I thought, I can do this because I was well known in town. And, you know, I played sports here when I was a kid, and then, you know, worked at a big church here. And so I had lots of friends, lots of contacts. And I thought, well, this is going to be easy. So I started doing a lot of advertising. Back then, obviously 30 years ago, advertising was a lot different than it is today. But I did billboards. I was sponsoring radio and television. I had a cable show. Me and Karen Castleman, who was working here at that time, she helped me put together a cable show that later a lot of other agents joined, but I was the first one on that. I ran a full page ad in the paper every Wednesday. They had a business section that you could rent a full, or, you know, do a full page. And so at the end of that first year, I had done a lot of business, and I was really, you know, happy about that. But there's 2 things when I say that I want you to remember. And that is, I started August the 27th. I didn't get my first paycheck until December the 5th. So I had to have some months of reserves. And if you don't have any reserves, it's going to be difficult, because it takes a little while to get the ball rolling. So I'll just say that as an aside. So I hope you do have some reserves. But anyway, by the end of that first year, I'd closed quite a few deals, and I was happy with the production that I had. But as I look back on it, in spite of all that marketing that I had done, all the deals I closed were people that I already knew. They were from church, or they were from high school, or they were, you know, from someone on my block or whatever. They were people that I already knew. So I learned right then that all of that I was not a marketing genius. I wasn't some kind of marketing whiz that could go out there and create a lot of buzz about my name or my face or my, you know, whatever I was doing. I was just a normal person. And I realized that all of that money I was spending on those marketing things was not what worked, what got me business. So I want to say to you that if you're got in the business, you think, I'm going to develop this big social media campaign, I'm going to be Miss Facebook, or I'm going to be Mr. Instagram, or whatever, I can't help you there, because in my opinion, I don't think that really is the way for a new agent to build business. Now, I know there's some exceptions to that. I know there's some exceptions to that rule, and there's some people that are really big whizzes at it. I'm not. And unless you are, I wouldn't count on that to be bringing you a lot of business. Why? Because there's tons of others. I remember one time I went to a seminar, and it was about developing podcasts. And someone, you know, we did some research, and there were 750 million podcasts related to real estate. And I'm thinking, how could I do something that's so creative it actually catches on? And I realized I couldn't, but I already had a circle of friends. I had a circle of people that I already knew, that knew me and that loved me and would support me no matter what I did. And I bet each one of you do too. Now, if you're new to the community, I remember meeting with one girl one time and I asked her, how many people do you know? And that's something I asked you that the other day, didn't I, Debbie? That's something that's one of the crucial questions before someone gets into this business. This kid I met at the gym today, I said, well, how many people would you say that you are close to? That's a basic question. And if your answer is 5 or 2, like this girl I started to tell the story about, it's going to be difficult to get going in real estate because you got to have a core group of people that you're going to draw from. But there are ways, if you're like that, I'll talk to you about it. And there are ways to build up that group. She joined 2 bunco groups. Any of you guys that are here know what bunco is? I bet all the girls know what bunco is, right?
It's our version of poker. Yeah.
Girls play bunco, guys play poker. It's a different game, but mainly they drink wine and they play, they play the game.
About you guys.
Yeah, they talk about, whatever girls talk about. And so she loved dogs. So she joined a couple of dog rescue organizations. She joined a booster club, even though she didn't have any children at that time. She joined a neighborhood watch. And so she started building this. So there are ways to do it. And I'd be happy to talk to you about that if you want. But there's probably each of you already have a group. And as I ask our agents over at Paragon, how many people do you know? The answer is always different. 25, 50, some people, 150, 10, it doesn't matter the number. I say start zeroing in on those people. I think someone's dog just barked. And so you start zeroing in on them. You start deepening your relationship with them. I remember one time when I was a pastor, there was a guy at a youth that at a big church down in Dallas, and I was jealous of him and I was envious of his group. And I thought, wow, what's wrong with me, God? How come I don't have a big church like that? How come I'm stuck in a little podunk town like Sherman? And I remember someone said to me, well, if I would be concerned about the depth of my relationship with God, then he would help me spread the ministry. He would be concerned about the width of my ministry. I apply that to real estate. If I'll be concerned about the depth of my relationship with people, they will help me spread the word. So the best advice I can give to you is to zero in, identify, make a spreadsheet of your 15 or 20 or 50, however many close friends you have, and get the bits of information you need, their name, their address, their mailing address, their phone number, and their email address, and start contacting them on a regular basis, deepening your relationship with them and having breakfast with them. Hillary, you had a breakfast this week, right? And what happened? Wasn't there something good that resulted from that?
Yeah, she's invited me to come visit once a month with their school board and bring giveaways to a mixer.
Great. So the objective of all marketing is a face-to-face meeting. There's nothing more powerful than sitting down with someone and you go through the Ford technique. How many of you know what the Ford technique is? FORD, family, occupation, recreation, dreams. When you're talking to someone, don't just talk about the Cowboys. Don't talk about the weather. Don't talk just about your kids. Hey, if you want to talk about kids, I'll flash my grandkids' picture as quicker than you can. I'm a quick draw on that. That's what I love to talk about. But if you go through that, does that mean? Yes, that is. That's my 8 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up. So you go through that Ford technique and you have a real meaningful talk with someone. Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. If I ask you about your occupation, what are you likely to ask me? What do you do for a living? And then I give them the elevator speech. And I'm sure all of you have your elevator speech ready. But that's something you would tell people why you're in the business in just 30 seconds or less. And the way I do it is say, I used to be a pastor and I help people find a home in heaven. Now I help people find a home on earth. It's the same job, just a different location. And when I say that, people smile, they laugh, and it gives me an opportunity to talk to them about real estate. And they always ask me the question, hey, how's the real estate market? What's the answer?
Great question.
It depends. It depends. And that just leads you into a great conversation, like what Michelle said about real estate. So I want to encourage you that in the days to come, You know, what you do on Facebook or what you do on Instagram or any other social media only reinforces these other things. There's about 8 or 10 ways to contact that group on your list. And if you encourage them as much, meet with them as often as you can, try to deepen your relationship with them, they will help you grow your business. Anybody got any questions? I know I was rushing there, but
No, it's good stuff.
she had a
Really
big
good
whip
stuff.
back there and she was going to knock me around.
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Good luck.
I'm glad you matched me today.
Are we? Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I told you wear blue, remember?
Did you?
No. You heard me though. All right. Anybody online have any questions? All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We're going to talk more about that in high level. And then as we go, if you guys have questions, raise your hands and let's talk about it. Because I want you guys to get this two-sided.
Can I just say one more thing? Any of you guys, even if you're not a member of Paragon, you can call me. I'll help you when I can. A lot of people helped me. I've got friends in every one of the offices in town, and I often call them. They call me. We help each other. So I'll be happy to help you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Isn't that great? What am I doing wrong, Randy? Maybe that's right. I don't think so. Hang on. I had this right a while ago. Let me fix this so I can share screens and flip at the same time. Here, will you come fix this and I'll start. I may have it figured out by then. Huh? Do what?
Brandy, she said she didn't know. I think you got it.
I got it now. All right. Cool. Building my ideal business. I want you guys, how many of you guys have been in business for yourself in another line of work? All right. Takes time to build, doesn't it?
Yep.
How, whenever you built that business, did you really sit down and figure out what do you want out of this business? Like, what does success look like to you? How are you going to reach what success looks like to you? And who do you need to, who do you need? Because we can't do it alone. Right? Whether you've been in the business for a long time, you've been in the business for just a couple of years, this class is really good if you've been in the business for a couple of years because you know what it feels like to not have a plan. Or if you're brand new in the business, this is perfect timing for you too. Because anytime you have the opportunity to really pause and think, what do I really want? And what does success look like to me? Success looks totally different to me than it does to Brandy and to Will and to all of you guys in the room. And I am under the belief that there is plenty of business for all of us. And we are all different and we're all going to do it differently. And if you're not doing it differently, then you're not running your business from the heart. And I think that's really, really important. So I'm going to go over some things with you today to get you to start thinking about what is it you really want? What does success look like to you? And how do you really, really want to do this? Because you can do it anyway. You can do it your way. And you really need enough time to really figure out what is that. Now, there may be some things that we talk about today or you guys see or you hear that it resonates with you, but it just doesn't click. That's okay, because later on, it really might just be exactly what you need at the right time. Because at this point, for me, what I feel like this conversation is going to be is more of seed planting that you guys have to water and grow over time. And there's bits and pieces of it that just may not resonate right now, but later will. So there are also a couple of books that I brought with me. And the reason that I brought these books, you guys are welcome to take. I'm a big reader If you have any questions about different books to read for different reasons, ask me, because I probably read it or I know about it and it's on my list to read. But the 3 books that I brought because they align perfectly with what we're talking about today. So I want to explain these, and then we're going to jump right into this and go through this 1 hour super fast. For anybody that wants to slow down and go through bits and pieces of it as a one-on-one, you'll just have to schedule some time on my calendar and I'll be happy to do that. But there is, Patrick Galvin wrote The Connector's Way. And then just recently he wrote The Trusted Way. When I talked to him a couple of months ago, he said, really, when you're reading this, read The Trusted Way first and The Connector's Way second, because of the way The Trusted Way is written. So The Trusted Way and The Connector's Way is just really teaching you guys the importance of being a connector and a resource. Nobody wants to be sold. They just have questions and they feel you might be the expert. And if you don't know the answer, you probably know who does. And that's the importance of being connected and networking so that you can be a resource to others. But both of these books are written as a parable, talking about the importance of being a connector, being a giver, and in doing so, helping to build your own business. And then I should have said this one first. Eric Mitchell is another good friend of mine, and he wrote this book about it's the why of money. If you don't understand why you're doing what you're doing, you're going to burn out. The passion, the purpose, it's passion and purpose that equals profits. And you've got to have a clear understanding of why. And when it's all said and done, it's typically tied around money. You either want a safety net. Maybe your parents didn't have any money put back and you saw what that economic hardship looked like. Maybe for you guys, you just want to have the freedom of your hours being structured and established the way you want them to be. And you want to decide how you're going to serve your clients. Maybe it's the flexibility in you're wanting that extra money to put it back into an account so you guys can travel. Whatever your reason is, it's typically tied around money somehow. And so knowing and understanding the power of money and getting real clear on your why will help continue to drive you when you get frustrated. And it's not if you get frustrated, it's when you get frustrated, because it'll happen. Sometimes and multiple times a week. Because again, this business is hard. This is you guys are not wimps if you're in real estate. And just like in baseball, there's no crying. There is some crying, actually. Yeah. And then the third book, Shelley Zabitz. Several of you guys, not anybody in the room, I don't think, are going through her course right now, her new Agent 365. All right. Shelley is a newer, 7 years now in the business. But when she was brand new in the business, she was that one agent that Joey was talking about. She knew nobody. And she came to the United States from Canada, being very successful in the radio business, never sold real estate, did not know anybody when she moved to Portland, Oregon, in a really, really large town. She's doing very, very well, and it's perseverance that pushed through. But what she was shocked about her first year in real estate is there really isn't a great course that tells you and shows you step by step the things that we're going to talk about today. She has that course now. She does the course as a private Facebook group several times a year, and it's only $100, and it includes the workbook that you're going to use. It is a phenomenal program, but she's got one book. I didn't bring a copy of it. The second book is Marketing That Moves You, because if you're not real clear about who you are and what your message is, people are going to be super confused. And yes, a referral-based business is a great way to go, but just like Joey said, you got to be consistent with your presence online as well. But you also need to be real clear about who you are and what your point is whenever you are marketing. This has got a step-by-step with workbooks at the end of each chapter. So if you take the action items as soon as you're done, then you really will have a great marketing plan. So I've got copies, I've got more copies at the office. You guys feel free to grab whichever books you want. They're yours to keep. Most of these are signed by the author. I don't think Eric signed those other books for me, but if it's that big a deal, I'll get a signature. But you do, these are for you. I have a full library at my office. You guys are all welcome to take a book. If you take a book, be sure I know about it so I can reorder and replace. So those books all reinforce what we're going to talk about today, which is your ideal business. So really think about how many hours and what are your hours? What hours are you working right now? Because it's not what kind of business I want. You got to figure out when am I going to create this business that I love? That the days of the week, the hours that you're going to work, and then breaking down how you're going to do it and what you're going to do during that time is super important. So I want you guys to really write down what hours do you feel like is best for you to be working, and do not put 24/7. Mm-hmm. Okay, if that's really difficult, do the reverse. What hours are you not available? And then do the reverse. What days of the week are you going to hold sacred for yourself and your family? Hillary and Tiffany, y'all have already done the work. All right. And then we're going to talk about how many hours of prospecting and where do you want your business to come from next. Setting these boundaries are really, really important. I am not a morning person. I would not, like Hillary, be meeting people for breakfast. It probably would not be good for business. Knowing when you work best, knowing when you're most efficient, knowing when you're most creative, knowing whenever you're the friendliest is really important, because every bit of that matters. So knowing that information and writing it down and setting some boundaries around that is really important. Yes, you need to be available to answer questions and take calls. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that you have to drop what you're doing at 9 o'clock at night to go do something for somebody. For some reason in this business, we feel like when people ask us to do something, we got to go, oh, we got to hit a home run. When oftentimes they're just asking a question. And if it requires action, you can schedule that action to be taken later. It's also really important too to know what hours you're off so that you get comfortable with saying that from 7 at night until 7 in the morning, I'm going to have an autoresponder on my phone. So if someone calls or texts, they see I'm not ignoring them. I'm just spending time with my family. And even if you only feel comfortable doing that a couple of days a week for right now, you have got to set yourself some boundaries. If you don't respect yourself, you don't respect your family any more than that, you will burn out. You will end up sick because people will take advantage of you. So I can't stress the importance right now when you're building your ideal business
to know and understand and feel okay setting boundaries. Brandy and I have both been in the business. Brandy's been in the business for 15 years plus, 18 years, 20 years. Damn, we're old. And I started in 96. I can tell you, we have tracked it. The people that we pause and react because they're being emotional with their request and over the top, I promise you 80%, I think it's a little bit more than that, 83%, something like a large percentage of the time, by the time they settle their brain down, they've changed their mind. After I dropped and I missed a memorable moment with my family, I missed that moment. I can't get it back. And after I did everything they asked me to do, they've changed their mind. It happens. So please, 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 if you're building an ideal business, then you're not missing those moments. I have grown kids. I have 9 grandkids. I screwed up on my 4 kids by being too present in my business and not present enough in their life. And I'm gonna start crying. I regret it. I get a do-over with 9 grandkids and I take it serious. But the impact that me not being present because I dropped what I was doing to have a conversation with somebody for them to change their mind later, I don't get back. So please, I cannot emphasize the importance enough for you guys to set boundaries. Now I recognize others that have boundaries and I respect them as a professional at a higher level than I do someone who's willing to drop everything and anything they have to go do something I've asked them to do immediately. The other reason that I respect them is because I know how hard it is. I know how many opportunities I missed. And I also feel like they more align with my core values because they have those boundaries. So don't be scared to set boundaries. It's really important. And then knowing that you get to choose who you want in your life. And when you choose to do business with them, they are in your life. If you're serving with your heart, they're in your life and you get to pick and choose. So also be very mindful of that. The amount of time that you'll spend on someone is a lot. And so there's no reason for you to be spending time with someone who does not, I mean, whenever you're working with them, the hairs on your neck stick up. It's not worth the commission. And it's not worth them zapping your energy and the joy that you have doing business with them just to try to get to the end of the, the end zone, whatever. So just know that you are worth it. Your family is worth it. And don't be scared to say no. All right. Also, the ideal business model. Every one of you guys, the why of money. I mean, you're doing this. Why are you doing this business? Yes, there's some emotions built into it, but it also is tied to money unless you guys are independently wealthy and you're doing this really, truly for fun. And even if you're doing it truly for fun, there's still expenses involved. So there's still money tied to it. So we can say all day long, I used to, my why. People would say, what's your why? And for the longest freaking time, I would always try to come up with this elaborate reason why. Well, my why now is, it's simple. I want to be able to give money as I want to give without having to worry about breaking the bank to give. If you come up to me and you say, hey, I have somebody who needs such and such, I don't want to have to go. I mean, I want to be able to give. And so for me to be able to give, I got to make I got to make enough money that I can take care of all of the things that I need to take care of and to have enough money that I can give. That's important to me. And that's a why. It does not have to be fancy, but you do need to get really clear about why. And then you need to get clear about how it is that you want to serve. I'm a teacher. I'm a trainer. I'm a coach. I like to lead. I like to help people be the best that they can be. And I like for people to see that they are worth setting those boundaries to protect themselves. So be really clear about why you're doing what you're doing. But it's also going to be tied to money because we all have bills to pay. So knowing how much money you need to cover your expenses, not just at home, but in business, making sure that you are factoring in savings, factoring in taxes, factoring in reinvesting back into yourself. You guys are here today investing time, but you're also, several of you guys are you're spending money too, because you got your CE hours. So budgeting all of those expenses and then backing into that, how many transactions do you need in order to cover your wants and needs is really important. So just like I just saw Debbie do, she just took a picture. You guys take a picture of this if you don't already know the formula, but it's also in your packet. All right. So do the math, but please pay attention. We're talking about how many people you have got to talk to, contact, have conversations with, and sit down and have breakfast with, or whatever it is you're going to do to get face to face with people. You need to know how many people do you need to talk to on a monthly basis and break it down to a daily. And if you will every single day go, okay, I have got to talk to 100 people about what I do for a living every single month, how many days in a month are you going to be out and about, and how many days in the month are you holding to honor and respect yourself and your family? So out of those days that are left, how many people do you need to talk to a day? And if you break it down a day and you don't go to bed at night without reaching your daily goal, I promise the numbers will work out. It's a numbers game. The more people you talk to, the more transactions you'll do. And if you're not converting at the national average conversion, then it's either in the conversations or the people you choose to talk to. It is not rocket science. Again, for anybody that needs help on a one-to-one, figuring this part out, hit me up. Oh, you guys will have the link to my calendar in just a few minutes. So another slide to take a picture of is just the money part of the slide. But you guys are going to have to put in what your actual commission structure is, because I just put some rough figures together. But in this case, if you needed, if you were looking for 3 transactions a month, you've got to talk to a lot of people. A lot of people. So just work those numbers based on what your goals are. But know that if you're not out shaking the bushes and prospecting, we'll talk about how much in just a few minutes. Actually, I'm going to ask you guys what y'all are trained. What does Joey say? How does he train you guys on prospecting? How many hours a day does he say you need to work on your business?
Typically tells us if we don't have any pending transactions or closings, that is what you are doing.
Prospecting. But when you have transactions that you are working on, you're still prospecting because it's all in the conversations that you have. So how are you going to reach your goals? So you know what you want, you know your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? What does success look like to you? You guys work your own numbers. How many transactions do you plan on doing in a year? Divide that by monthly and know that it's 100 contacts per one transaction. Then it's the how. Well, in here we have a worksheet. You know what? Do we have that worksheet in that handout? I think we do. If not, BJ will email it out. Okay, BJ, will you email this worksheet out to everybody? I think I have everyone's address in the room. I may just put the worksheet in the real estate, the Facebook, the private real estate group. This is a good one for everybody. Anyway, yeah. Your real estate community. Send me a request. If you guys know anybody in your office that's not in that group, then you can go in there and invite them. I have to approve it. I'm only approving real estate agents because I don't want you guys solicited. Also in that group, don't post listings. Y'all have access to the MLS. It doesn't do any good. I have another group I have another public page for that, and that's Grayson County Real Estate for Sale. So if you got a listing or an open house, put it on there. But this is who has it, struggling with this, don't know how to find who, you know, that stuff goes into that group. That's a resource for y'all. But planning your success and then knowing what your goals and contacts needed is a worksheet that I'm not going to go over specifically, but here's the who of your business. So be thinking about, who do I know? Actually, I'm going to put this is not the same slide that I put together the other night. Hang on. It's throwing me off. I redid a slide, BJ. I think maybe this is it. Nope, that's not it. I created some good stuff for you guys the other day, and I had it up just a little bit ago. I'm not seeing it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let me go into this mode. I wanted to make sure you guys knew Will and Brandy and I wouldn't be here today if we didn't have this amazing team behind us, making sure that all of you guys, your customers were taken care of. All right. Passion and purpose. So the how part of your business, here we go, is really important. And the how really starts with the who. The how works itself out when you know the who's. So be thinking and write down what groups of people align with who I am, that I'm involved in, that I need to make sure that I go deeper or spend more time with. And then I'm going to show you guys some math in just a few minutes on some statistics so you guys can see that you probably already have the sphere that you need. All right. So when you know who it is that you want to do business with, then it's a matter of really figuring out, how do I create a strategy around making sure that I'm talking to these people, that I'm deepening the relationships. For me, theme days work best because you are now independent contractors. A lot of you guys on the call have been in the business for a long time. You wake up every morning and you don't have somebody telling you what to do, right? So what do? It's Monday. I don't have any contracts working right now. I don't have any pending transactions. What do? How do I keep the wheel moving? Well, so for me, it's just easier to think theme days. Okay, Monday. This is what I do on Mondays. Every single Monday, this is what I do. So you can build yours out however you want, but Mondays is a great day. It's a fabulous day to talk to your favorite people. It's a great way to start the week. So if you have a list of your top 50 people, your favorite people in the whole wide world, create a list. Like, you guys write this down, because I want y'all between now and next week, create a list of 50 of your top favorite people. Take that list, go to each one of those people in your phone And if I had favorite written by Preston's name, I would say Preston favorite. And then I would have his, contact information in there. Well, then if I were on Monday morning, it's time to call these people, I would just search favorite. Everybody that I saved under favorite is under their name is going to come up. Well, so will the call history of each one of them, right? So I can keep up with who I've called and when, how long ago it's been. Call and talk to the people you hadn't talked to in a while. Have a forward conversation. Family, hey, how's the family doing? I saw on Facebook the other day that so-and-so is, you guys are going somewhere on spring break. Before you call your favorite people, stalk them, see what's going on in their life. How's work? I bet you guys are like, I heard real estate's going bonkers right now. What's that look like for you guys? What do you think the value of my home is now? I mean, like, have those conversations. Then you've got your recreation. Talk about what they're doing for fun. Again, if you stalk them on Facebook, you have the information so you can lead the conversation. Family, occupation, recreation. What? Dreams. Yeah. Duh. What are y'all's plans? Have y'all thought about, I mean, most of the time right now, y'all's conversations are so flippin' easy. Everybody wants to know what's going on in real estate. Everybody wants to know what's going on with interest rates. So whenever you have those forward conversations, it usually leads in the direction you want it to, because they're going to ask questions. So that's, if you called 12 people, 12 of your favorite people, these are people that already know you, they like you, they trust you, on a Monday, and you have a really good forward conversation, that's a great way to start the week. Now, if you called 12 on a list of 50, that means you're going to be deepening a relationship because you're calling these people once a month and checking in, right? These are folks, because they're your favorites, they're likely not going to be in your CRM because you're not wanting to send them newsletters and all of that stuff. That's why I say save these people in your phone, not in your CRM, because these are your favorite people. These are not necessarily people you've done business with, but they love you. And anybody that they hear have a conversation about real estate or about home improvements they're going to do, they'll say your name. Hey, you know what? Debbie is a good friend of mine. She just got into real estate. That's a great question. Why don't you ask her how much that backyard outdoor living that you're doing is going to add to the value of the house, right? So Mondays is also a great day. I like birthdays. I think that's one day a year I get to make someone feel special. But what does that look like for you? And how embarrassed do you get when you find out one of your friends had a birthday and you totally did not even realize it? So make sure on your 50 faves, you have their birthdays. And the first thing you're going to look every single month on your Monday is, who do I know that has a birthday that I can make feel special this month? And you can celebrate them early. You can celebrate them late, because I believe in birthday months. So create yourself a birthday program. That's a good thing to do on Mondays as well. So Tuesdays, I think Tuesdays for us, for the last 11 years, on Tuesdays is our update days. So I'm preaching it to you guys, because if you guys are updating your clients and you know the updates coming from us, it just makes y'all's job easy. But when you've got pending transactions, buyer seller side, or you have some buyers that you're actively showing, that's the day you can tell them, whenever you are setting up to work with them, hey, every Tuesday, we're going to talk. And I'll give you a market update. We'll talk about all of the coming soons. We'll talk about what you guys have already looked at and how those compare with the coming soons, and get that scheduled. Like Tuesdays, if you tell everybody Tuesdays is when we're going to have this conversation, they're going to be expecting it every single week. And you could go ahead and schedule a time to talk to them every single week on a Tuesday. Same thing with your sellers. Hey, listen, no, we're going to have an open house on Saturday. Got a couple of offers coming. Do you guys want to hold and wait and do highest and best on Sunday evening at what time? Or, you know, those are the days you have those conversations on Tuesdays. So Tuesdays, every Tuesday, you know, you're going to do an update. Wednesdays is a great day for you to be calling every one of your hot leads and old leads. So anybody that has shown any interest in buying or selling is a hot lead. Your old leads are people that showed interest in the past, but have kind of fizzled away. They got frustrated and they said, forget it. I'm just going to rent for another year. Those are your old leads. They still want to know what's going on in the market. They still have dreams and goals. They just put them on hold. So hearing from you with the market updates is really important. You'd be surprised how many people think they're going to be somewhere for 12 months, and then they find exactly what they were looking for 30 days after they signed a contract. Murphy's Law. Thursdays is a good day for you just to go in there and, talk to people that you've done business with in the past, and you just need to do a catch up. This is also a good day for you to be working on your letter of the heart. Also known in the Paragon world as, what do you call it? Do y'all call it letter of the heart? The one that y'all send out to your database?
The apology letter?
Yeah, but then after that, y'all are doing a newsletter mail out.
A business letter.
Okay, I call it a letter of the heart, and the reason is because people really care about, I mean, they're interested in what you're doing. If you're fixing to take this really cool trip, you're talking about that, or hey, I just had a friend that experienced this and I'm helping them out in this way. Can you help too? Or super excited, we finally got my daughter through grad school or high school or whatever it is. People are interested in who you are, not what you do. So a letter of the heart, Thursdays is a really good day to connect with people at a deeper level, allowing them to get to know you. All of this stuff works in the social world as well. Whenever I do a letter of the heart email to my database once a month, I also post it on social in a couple of the little groups because it allows people to get a little peek inside of who I am. Because people do business with people they know, like, and trust. So let them get to know you. Share a little bit of information about yourself. And then Fridays is a good day for new business and builders. You guys, I don't know if you know, but I think, how many builders do you think in this area? Last time there's probably 75 to 100 builders right now in this area. There's a whole lot of builders. And when I talk to the builders right now, they're not even pricing the houses or putting them on the markets until they're complete. Do any of you guys have an inventory, even on paper, of who our builders are? Are they building specs? Are they building only customs? Do they have any lots? Where are their lots? What kind of homes are they building? What price range are they building in? If they were to build, do the customers have to go to the bank and go get their own construction loan, or is the builder going to hold the note? If you don't have an inventory list of all of the builders in this area and who's doing what, create one. Because if we don't get more houses on the ground, we are going to continue to have sellers that are scared to sell because they have nowhere to go. Solve the problem by learning what you can learn to overcome the challenge. And right now, that's the biggest challenge we have. The builders are not going to list in most cases because they get sticks in the ground, they get a contract. They're fighting off the contracts till the house is finished enough so they even know how much it's going to cost them to build, because they don't know. So they can't even price them. So Fridays are your new business. What problems do people have that I can solve? And who do I need? What resources do I need to provide? What do I need to research to solve the problem? That's your Friday. That's your new business. So if you guys think of the days of the week as theme days, then you'll never wonder what I'm supposed to get up and do today. Because nobody's going to tell you what to do today. All right, so more specifically, what are you going to do and how will you track it? Because if you don't track it, it doesn't get done. So I'll tell you a story real quick. I've been in the business, Brandy and I both been in business for a long, long time. And we ran our business by spiral notepads and sticky notes for about 18 years, right? This form right here was the beginning of a lot of changes in our life, along with a spreadsheet that we used like a database before we started this amazing CRM that we have, where there is really no referral ever left behind because of our tracking system now. But this is what we call a greatness tracker. If you guys freaked out over the 100 contacts per transaction, you're not alone. Number one, that is a shocking number. Where are you going to go to talk to that many people? You have to have a database. But tracking, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes, but tracking the conversations, tracking the activities, knowing what activities to have will allow you to take those 100 contacts and turn them into a transaction. So what's been the magic formula for us that I'm going to share with you guys is if you will copy these, carry it around with you, fold it up and put it in your pocket. Well, this was before you were around. I know you have a copy of it. I know you know the value of it. You're no longer doing it. And I'm calling you out on it because if you were, you'd be super busy if you had been doing it for 1 year. If you guys will commit to filling this out every single week, I promise this time next year, you guys will have a pocket full of money and you'll be so excited about your business. 15 face-to-faces. Hillary, I know you're doing 1 a week. Break breads. Here's my magic formula. 15 face-to-faces. A face-to-face, if you're in a room like this and you're in a network environment and you deliver your elevator speech and you have a conversation with someone in that room, that's a face-to-face. Now, just because I saw you eyeballs to eyeball in a room does not count for face-to-face. What this forces you to do is to show up with purpose. If you're passionate about what you do, people will see it when you have a conversation with them. And people love passion. People with passion attract more of that. So if you show up with purpose, so I'm going to a ribbon cutting today, and I've only had 3 face-to-faces this week, and I have to have 15 before I'm finished on Friday. But I'm going to a networking event. You better speed network at that next ribbon cutting and have some meaningful conversation. A meaningful meaning a forward conversation. And what's even best is when you exchange cards or contact information and follow it up with a thank you note and an agreement to meet for breakfast, for an afternoon coffee, for lunch, for happy hour, or to come to your house for bunko. But network with the purpose. Don't just show up and willy-nilly and go, woo, I prospected today. You did not. You just showed up. Break breads. When you have 5 exchanges of conversation with someone over drink or food, the conversation shifts and changes and becomes very intimate. They will start offering and giving you way more information and invite you to things they wouldn't have in a networking face-to-face opportunity or event. So those 5 break breads are really important. what works really well. And Hillary, what would work for you on your breakfasts is say, hey, you're welcome to invite whoever you'd like to invite, and I'll treat them to a cup of coffee also. You turn one break bread into two. And meeting someone that referred or invited through someone else that you mutually know, that whole triangle of trust. I know Preston, Preston knows me, therefore we will like each other and we are going to know each other at the end of this opportunity, this break bread. All right. 60 phone conversations. So if you were every single day to call 10 people a day and have a conversation, you will have 60 at the end of the week. Make those calls. And then the seminar or your ribbon cutting, any kind of network, you need to attend at least one a week. And then you have thank yous. Write thank you notes. You run across people in your life every single day that I promise words shared with them, intimate, heartfelt words, are a gift to people. Don't overthink gifting. Your words are a gift. And only just two heartfelt sentences on a blank card goes a long, long way in making someone feel seen, heard, and special. So this reminder will remind you the importance of that. And then the bottom part of it is the results of your activities. Track it. I promise if you will do this every single week, in 60 days, you will look back. 20% of the people that you talk to will turn to a transaction if you have the conversations. And it's so easy to track if you just keep this sheet, throw it into a folder, and then go back later and go, man, I am slammed. Why am I so busy? Oh, well, I've been doing the work. I've been doing the activities that bring me business. But it's a 60 to 90 day lag, depending on if you're right now on the buyer side or the seller side. It's consistency that pays off. Now, who are you going to connect with? There's another book. I didn't have any extra copies of it. I love dearly, and it's called 7 Levels of Communication. I'll order them in bulk and I'll bring them to the next class. I can't say enough about that book in terms of really figuring out how do you do what I just am explaining to you. How do you do that and turn that into a business? Between the new Agent 365 and 7 Levels of Communication, it's so clear. But what I wanted to point out in this is an excerpt in the book. I started to do the math of what business based on referrals, introductions, and connections could look like. If you have 150 people in your database, these are people that you know. And my question to Debbie yesterday was, if your daughter, she's got a daughter old enough to get married. If your daughter was to say, hey, Mom, I'm getting married. I mean, I'm sure she wouldn't say it quite like that. You'd know before that, but, or better anyway. I need an invite list from you. And you start listing all of the people that you would invite to a wedding. I promise there would be 100 to 150 on that list between friends and family and acquaintances that you feel you needed to invite. Start with that when you're putting that list together. But according to NAR, people move on an average 1 out of every 5, every 5 years. All right. So if you just do the math, 1/5 or 20% of your database, that's 30 people are going to move this year. What's y'all's goals on transactions? Does anybody have 30 as their goal? Preston?
25,
All right. How big is your database?
not 200,
Okay. And how often are you doing all of these activities?
not often.
Okay. He's got the database. He's got the goals. Are you real clear on your why? Are you serving with passion? All right. You know who you want in your business? Okay. he'll make it happen. All he's got to do is the activities. So if you just expand even further than that, 150 people, if you only catered heart and soul to 150 people, they would feel it. They would believe so strongly in you, they would be your raving fans. And if they're your raving fans, then I promise they will sell you harder than you could ever sell yourself. Don't overthink it. 150 people that love you because you have deep connection with them. So if you got exposed to another 150 people through this 150 people, your ripple effect, the ripple effect of 150 people at the core, the ripple effect of 150 people knowing 150 people, because everybody knows 150 people, unless you're brand new to this country, right? Because you guys could refer business to someone in another state, right? That's 22,000 people that will be affected by the ripple of the 150 in your core. Don't overthink it. Go deeper, stay connected, and do the activities. Database management. If you're not using a database now, how many of you guys have a CRM at your office that y'all are using? Get a CRM. I can give you a spreadsheet that you can start with. But the problem with the spreadsheet is there's no algorithms built in it. There's no reminders built in it. And I promise when we shifted our business from spreadsheet to CRM, where we had task reminders, when stuff got sent out for us because they were scheduled, our business shifted and changed. Instead of 1 out of 15 customers would turn from a referral to a transaction that was funded, it is now anywhere from 20 to 25, depending on the type of referral. CRMs are a game changer, and I'm happy to help you guys through that. But if nothing else, if you don't have a system now, email us and we will send you a spreadsheet that you can start with. Because if you just had a spreadsheet and you had name, birthday, hobbies, and then enough room for any other information, it would be a beginning. And then knowing whenever you're going to do these activities is super important. What goes on your calendar? For me, I know what I want. I know who I need in order to help me make it happen. And I'm really clear on my why. Because of that, I can put a calendar together where I literally wake up and show up, and my calendar is so formulated that it is the roadmap to my success. I have theme days. I know for me, I like to serve you guys by teaching, coaching, leading, training, inspiring, motivating, and then also being a resource. My team is really good at getting the loans figured out and closed for you guys. So my calendar is aligned with my core values, which is another course I teach, but not in the success series. But I'm happy to go through that exercise with you if you don't understand what your core values are, because it should be the center of it all. But my calendar is very much aligned so that I know exactly what I need to do in order to serve all of the people in my life that I want to serve in what capacity. It goes on my calendar. I'm not going to show you my calendar because it would freak you out, but it's color coded. So I can look on my calendar and go, me first. I learned that the hard way. So I calendar out 1 year in advance, and I put myself on the calendar first. And I am yellow because I like yellow. So then I know as a leader of a team that I have to commit to taking care of my team as well. I have a different color for my team, and I know how I'm going to serve them in a what capacity, except whenever I mess up on my calendar invites. My coaching and teaching time is another color, because that's how I want to build my business, giving back to you guys. So my point is, who do you want to serve? How do you want to serve them? When are you going to serve them? Put it on your calendar. Because if you put it on your calendar and you live by that calendar, your calendar will be a roadmap for you to get these activities done. When are you going to do these face-to-faces? You got to have 5 break breads a week. When are you going to do that? Lunches are expensive. If you like ice cream, be the ice cream person. If you like coffee, be the coffee person. If you like tea, be the tea person, but find an affordable way so you can sustain the activities that you need to do in order to build the business that you'd like. All right. So the networking on purpose, for a purpose. You guys don't check the box just to say I went. Don't just go there and go, do a selfie picture, post it on Facebook, and check the box. If you did not have a forward conversation, it does not count. And if you really made yourself a rule that I'm going to show up at a network event, I've told this to Will several times, you take 5 cards in of your cards. And don't leave until you have 5 forward conversations exchanging your card with somebody else. Then you have the information you need to follow up with a thank you. You also have the information you need to follow up with scheduling a break bread, a cup of coffee, an ice cream, a tea, whatever it is. All right, so network with a purpose. Don't just show up, because it doesn't count. Lastly, success is rented, not owned, and the rent is due every day. You can't fake it. You can't just go through the motions. You can't just check the boxes and expect to sell real estate. Right now, it's easier than it's been in the past. It's not always going to be that way. So build a business that you can continue to do for the rest of your life, but do it the way you want to do it. So you've got a business and a life that you truly love that you can do forever without burnout. But it first starts with setting those boundaries. That was, we're a little bit over time. And one of the things that is really true to me is the gym. I have to do that 3 days a week for physical and mental health. So I'm going to bow out of here in just a few minutes because I got to be at the gym in 18 minutes. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you for a great class, Michelle.
You are very welcome. Renee, what is one thing that you got out of that?
You know,
do differently?
honestly, for me, you know, getting in touch with my contacts, because I'm fortunate. I have a lot of contacts because I've been in this area for a long time. And, you know, it's just walking through that fear and just reaching out to them. And I absolutely like the ideal of those handwritten thank you notes, because something that people don't do anymore is they don't do the handwritten thank you notes. And every property that we sell, you know, we know their address. So send them a handwritten thank you note, because it really does go a long way. And whenever I send those, they call me back or they'll email me back and go, oh my God, I just got your thank you. And so it's really, really important. Excuse me, just trying.
Yep.
Okay.
We overthink and try to make it fancy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the basics. It's the basics. I'm the world's worst at complicating things. And Brandy's nodding her head because we've worked together for 20 years. So she knows, because I'm an idea person. So I always have a new greatest and best idea and I start executing. But when I really think about what really, really works is the basics. It's conversations, it's connection, and consistency. It works. So keep it simple. In the Success Series, if you guys attend every week for the next 8 weeks, I promise to bring good content. We'll stay on schedule, unlike today. And if you attend all 8, you'll get a quarter of MLS dues paid for by the association, because
Woo!
I know exactly. And that's because the education committee believes so strongly in bringing you guys content that is here in the office. And the reason, or on Zoom, is the collaboration that you feel and you see whenever we're all together. You guys work together on transactions. We are a unit. We are to the community. We are, we're a light post. So being here in person and attending these classes. Now, if you've got some friends or other people in the business that missed, then invite them. They just don't get the free MLS dues because they weren't here today. So,
Michelle,
yeah.
someone has asked about the thank you cards. You put your business cards in there.
I do not. Should I? I don't know. I just, whenever I'm writing thank you cards, they're more intimate and not business.
Yeah.
I think that every one of you guys need to have a strong online presence. And to me, that is your business card. So I haven't been putting business cards in there. I don't know if that's the right answer or not, but I don't. Do y'all? Now, everybody else in the room is shaking their heads no.
Not on a thank you card, because I feel like for me, it is more intimate, and I'm genuinely thanking them for, trusting me to be their realtor.
Yeah.
I really have like misgivings on that. I know some people, they'll shoot out their business cards and go, hey, and make sure you send me a referral. But this is a little bit different. This is more of a just, hey, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And then maybe a month later, I might send them a follow-up card.
Mhm.
And at that point, put my business cards in there and remind them that, hey, referrals is, 99% of my business, and I appreciate any referrals that you might send me. And that's kind of how I do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you put business cards in? No. Okay. All right. Consensus is no. Thank you, Renee. For those of you guys that are podcasters, if you could do me a huge favor, I'd appreciate it. I have a podcast and it's called The Can Be. So THE can CANBE. And I named it that because I truly believe you can be anything you want to be. For me right now, my biggest, strongest is to be the best Mimi I can. Memes. But I truly believe you can be anything you want to be. And so I have a podcast, drop a new episode every Friday, but I could certainly, it's brand new. It's on Spotify, it's on Anchor, it's on Apple. So if you are a podcaster, if you would subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. Reviews are great, and shares. So I can get that going. I've only dropped 8 episodes, and I try to keep them super short. So 20 minutes is the longest one. And that's because I wanted you guys to be able to listen to it in your commutes from place to place. Right now, it takes about 30 minutes to get anywhere with traffic. So you'll be finished before you get there. Anyway, well, I am going to the gym. I thank you guys all very much for showing up. And Brandy, can you hang around just a little bit longer for anybody that has questions? Okay, perfect. All right, you guys on Zoom, I'm signing off. Y'all have a great day. Bye.
Hi, Michelle.
Bye.